Vietnam is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Buoyed by a strong electronics sector, the average salary for Vietnamese people has increased by $50 since 2008. However, economic growth has brought considerable challenges for the natural environment. Vietnam has the second highest rate of primary forest deforestation in the world, and over 800 species of flora and fauna are listed as endangered or critically endangered by the IUCN. Climate change, habitat loss, and illegal wildlife trafficking, an industry estimated to be worth up to $23 billion each year worldwide, threaten one of the most biodiverse countries on Earth. We met with Nu from Change Vietnam, a non-governmental organization focused on raising awareness of conservation and climate change issues throughout the country. She sees a number of threats to Vietnam's wildlife.
I think for me, you can differentiate in three categories. Start from the killing of us, and then trafficking, and then demand. As you know, like the last German rhino in Vietnam was killed back in 2010. So what about other animals in the future in Vietnam? It's being threatened. They are all being threatened now in Vietnam. We have like less than 5 tigers in the wild right now, and we have less than like 50 elephants in the wild in Vietnam. Illegal trafficking has got more serious in terms of, like the smugglers and the poachers are using more modern technology to poach. We got a few cases in the south of Vietnam, the Cat Lai port, where the smugglers, they put ivory into the wood, and they transit from overseas into Vietnam or within Vietnam itself. And it's really hard for the custom to find out.
But it is the demand which Nu believes is central to Vietnam's struggle.
We and China are among the top 2 countries that consume a lot of wildlife products because of our belief in animal products. Like if the animal is wild, it can help you to curse something. It's just a belief. The business people who are rich, who have a lot of money, so they use that kind of money, they buy wildlife products. In Vietnam, something is rare, it's expensive, and it's more valuable. So that's the way the rich people use to appreciate an effort from someone else or something, or they just simply display it like an ivory in the house just for showing power. Demand just got higher and higher, and like if one species is killed, one species goes extinction, another species will be found, and they will have the rumor on that species, just to get the demand going up.
One of the main rumors is that the wildlife products have medicinal properties. Bear bile, taken from a living bear's gallbladder, is used as a treatment for conjunctivitis, jaundice, and hemorrhoids. 2 pounds of bear bile on the black market has a price of $400,000. Until 2015, pangolin scales were covered under some health insurance plans in Vietnam. The scales can cost more than $3,000 per kilogram on the black market.
We do target like the patients who are sick, who have cancer, and who actually use those products to treat their sickness or their illness. So we do approach them, we do educate them, and we do want them to change their mindset.
In the fight against biodiversity loss, Vietnam's protected areas have become all the more vital. One success story is that of Can Yo Mangrove Reserve, a UNESCO-recognized biosphere of over 30,000 hectares just 30 kilometers from the center of Ho Chi Minh City and home to over 150 species. During the Vietnam War, mangroves in the south provided strong resistance bases for Vietnamese people. Consequently, the US used bombs, cannon fire, and toxic chemicals to destroy the forests. The principal herbicides that were used included Agent Orange as well as White Agent, mainly to destroy forest trees, and Blue Agent, chemicals that kill the forests. Of the total mangrove area in southern Vietnam of 291,000 hectares, 105,000 hectares, or 36%, were sprayed at least once. A large part of timber and other resources in mangrove areas were lost. Forest soil was chemically changed, with lower pH from insufficient freshwater in the dry season and higher salinity because of increased evaporation. Without the protection that mangroves offer against tides, waves, and water currents, severe coastal and riverbank erosion occurred. At first, the numbers of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks increased due to the decomposing leaves creating an abundance of food in the water. However, they later decreased rapidly when no mangroves remained. Crocodiles and tigers that used to roam the area became extinct. The population of monkeys, lizards, and birds that were found in great numbers in the past also decreased gradually after the war. So why is Canyo a success story? Well, aware of the significance of mangrove ecosystem, the People's Committee of Ho Chi Minh City invested in reforestation. The project was undertaken by the City Forestry Service and the People's Committee of Canyo District. Lee Duc Tuan, professor at Ho Chi Minh City University, was one of the first to lead and work on reforesting the area, a job that took over 22 years. He believes the importance of this protected area is far beyond that of just its biodiversity.
Canyo mangrove ecosystem, after the recognition of UNESCO map as biosphere reserve, the first biosphere reserve in Vietnam, and now it plays very important role because it can do three big work by itself. The first, it was the lung of Ho Chi Minh City. The second is the green wall to prevent from flood and storm. And the third one, it may be play the role of refine the water pollution from upstream of Saigon Dong Ma River to the estuary, to the Eastern Sea.
Professor Tuan has even calculated the total economic value that 1 hectare of Canyo brings to Vietnam, both in terms of the resources it provides, but also its services to Ho Chi Minh City and beyond.
In the year 2012, it's around maybe $6,000 per hectare per year. If you would like to change the purpose of 1 hectare of Canyo mangrove in other purpose, you have to think how many $, per hectare per year it provides to the social for human being. If higher, you can maybe change, but lower or stop is better.
Sadly, however, this does not stop threats to Canyo. There are government plans to build over 60 coal power plants in Vietnam by 2030, many of which will be situated along the Mekong Delta in southern Vietnam. And there are plenty of other ways that local people have looked to exploit this biosphere reserve. Lee is a nearby shrimp farmer.
Tháng 2018 rồi em nhờ người ta đi công làm ao, rồi xong rồi kẹt đáy rồi hết luôn, là khoảng 3 tháng là xong. Rồi em nuôi tôm được 1 vụ. Mình biết nhưng mà vụ đầu thì nuôi không có đẹp, tại vì cái môi trường á, khí hậu á, nói chung là ở đây là độ phèn rất là nhiều, nên chưa có thích nghi được. Nên bây giờ với giá tôm quá thấp, đang thấp nên từ từ mới nuôi, có thể là đón tháng 1 tháng sau mới nuôi.
She told us how mangrove forests would need to be cleared to provide land for fish and shrimp farming.
Nếu mà diện tích tất cả luôn này là khoảng 1,8 mẫu, 10 gần 2 mẫu. Còn mỗi ao này là khoảng 1.600 hoặc 1.700 mét vuông thôi.
The work is intensive.
Nếu mà nuôi tôm, tại vì thường cho thức ăn nhiều á, thì khoảng 1 tháng, giống như mình thả tôm xong rồi có khoảng 1 tháng, mình phải tháo cái đáy ra để cho nó cấp nước mới vô. Giống như tháo ra khoảng 1 tấc, 2 tấc vậy đó, cái mình cấp nước mới vô.
And although Lee herself does not use chemicals to keep the water clean, we were told that it is common practice in the area to do so, killing wildlife when chemicals in the used water are discharged into the Mekong. Meanwhile, a little down the road, another economic activity is taking place which could result in further pressure on the mangrove ecosystem. Bird nest farming is another example of Vietnam's reliance on the Chinese market, which consumes the bird nests.
Nó đi tùm lum, ai cần thì là lấy. Thí dụ nước ngoài người ta về, người ta cần bồi dưỡng cha mẹ người ta mua cái tổ người ta về cho người ta tự chế cho làm ăn. Có gì đâu lấy cái tổ để trưng đường phèn với bỏ trái cây rồi vô trỏng ăn rồi thôi chứ có gì đâu. Cái tổ nó vậy ra vô trỏng một cái tổ nở một chén luôn, nó nở vậy lắm. làm như cái bún vậy đó, bỏ vô tổ là nó tự động nó nở.
Min, a local bird's nest farmer, told us that the swiftlets producing the nests will produce one every 4 months, with each reproductive cycle, providing him with 2 to 3 kilograms of bird nests. As such, for local people, it is a livelihood.
1 ký nó mấy chục triệu lần.
1 ký thôi.
1 ký mỗi lần, 1 ký tổ là tới 50 triệu, bây giờ còn có 25 triệu mà. Thu hoạch xuống á, chỉ thu hoạch rồi chứ chưa thành phẩm. Thành phẩm thì giá nó khác nữa.
Giá khác nữa, mình chỉ
lấy xuống rồi lấy xuống cái giá nó 20 mấy triệu.
Là còn cái tổ luôn là 20 mấy.
Thì cái tổ mình gỡ ra còn lông lá
Đây
chưa làm đó, rồi lấy xuống á, là phải muốn làm cho thành phẩm á, phải ngâm nước cho mềm, rồi vạch ra rồi lấy nhíp gỡ lông ra, rồi mới đem lấy cái tổ khác làm sấy làm cái tổ, làm cái khuôn á, để em sấy lại cho khô mới thành phẩm được.
Còn thành phẩm rồi bán giá khác nữa.
Thành phẩm giá khác. Bên Tam Hiệp cho cả 100 cái nhà là nhiều lắm.
Tam Hiệp ở đâu?
Tam Hiệp ở bển quận 3 bên.
Dạ.
Tam Hiệp ở chỗ An Nghĩa đi vô trỏng có đường đi vô trỏng nhiều lắm.
The reality is that in a booming economy, everyone is looking for a way to exploit the natural environment. From wild birds being sold in the markets of HCMC, to illegal rare fish in restaurants, to bird's nests and shrimp farming, to poaching and bear bile. Both Lee Duc Chuan and Nu agree that education is vital.
Everybody needs to learn to know more about the issues. You have children, you have students, you have young people studying in university or schools. They need to study more about the species. They need to know more about how to protect their environment for their future. The business leader, for example, they need to know that a piece of rhino horn, a piece of ivory doesn't show power or doesn't really show beauty. And I think the government, they need to be educated as well in terms of how serious the problem is and how serious that international community is looking at Vietnamese government.
The forest, the vegetation, very important for human being. And if the young generation be educated well, they have the right thinking and do the right thing for their life in the future. If you cannot do this, the future is maybe very sad.